So what I'm about to read right now from my book, Jimmy and I, is a portion or a chapter where I address the men who murdered my father. I love my dad with all my heart, and it broke my heart that took him from me so early. So it goes, to the men who took my Jimmy. Since for years I lived with that reality without fully understanding what it meant. I was just a little boy, and all I knew was my dad. He was my hero, and now he's gone. As I get older, I learn more about what happened. I even hear people talk about it in ways that are careless, even hurtful. But there were moments where I felt like the pain of that loss followed me into places where I couldn't escape. Then I went to prison years later, and something that came across my mind. I wondered, what if I ever ran into the men who killed my father? California prisons can feel big, but if you're in there long enough, it becomes a small world. I knew they were lifers. I knew there was a chance our paths would cross on a yard somewhere. And I would think to myself, what would I do if I ever saw him? What would I say? How would I feel? Yes, I'm a Christian now, but they killed my dad. They changed the trajectory of my life forever. At one point, I even thought about the possibility of them going to board. Would I be contacted? Would my voice matter in whether they were released? Would I be able to forgive them? But life has a way of changing you. God has a way of changing you. As I sat in that prison dealing with my own guilt, my own shame, the pain that I cause others, something began to shift in me. I started going through the victim's impact. I began to understand from both sides, not just someone who lost, but someone who caused loss. And that changes you. So when I think about the men who took my father's life, I didn't think about revenge. I thought about reality. My father's gone. Nothing's going to bring him back. No amount of time they spend in prison will ever change that. And I began to ask myself a different question. What is the purpose of someone dying in prison? Would it make me feel better? No. Now I understand that there are people who are dangerous. Some people who have no remorse. People have no desire to change sometimes. And for those situations, I understand why society has to be protected. But I know this, people could change and people could grow, because I did. So I just want to ask you, what would you do if someone killed a member of your family? If someone took away your father or your mother and you ran into him? Would you forgive him? What would you say to him? I love y'all. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to take your pain medicine. 6.